Hi everyone, and welcome to the new adventure of Dice and Dinner. You are meeting us at the new adventure called A Shrewd Tradition. I am Charlie, or CheesyGMing, as the GM for this adventure. And with me are four amazing players. Players, would you please introduce yourself for this adventure?
Hello, I am Faye, and I'll be playing Cal, the rogue.
Hello again. Back for this adventure, I'm still Sylvia, and this time I'll be playing Zora, who is a witch.
Hello, I'm Bardi, and in this adventure I'm going to be playing Yahtzee. Can I assist?
Hello, I'm also back. I'm Christoph, and I will play Wind the Ranger.
And we are actually in a completely foreign location. As this adventure begins in the northern part of Golarion, all the way up in Irison, the land of the frost and the mystery. In a small town known for its tavern and hot springs of Iarna, there is a single inn that adventurers tend to often when they cross by. The Honeydew Drop Inn, located on one of the more familiar hot springs, is where we go into meeting our adventurers. As this night in particular, the inn is packed with adventurers because this is adventurer night. An evening where the inn has declared, well, whatever story you have, this is the time and the place to tell it. Because every adventurer has a story. And if your story is, well, fun enough, you get drinks on the house. The innkeeper, Yonk, a small winter goblin, stands behind the bar as the adventurers boast and drink and eat and laugh together, sharing stories each time a new adventurer is sent on stage or called on stage to tell where they come from and what did they do. We arrive right at the end of a human's story as he stands on stage, a large sword in one arm and a drink in the other, as he says, "It took me 3 months, but in the end I found it. The last monster of the entire tribe that took over my city. I took my sword," as he raises his sword to the air and raises the drink in the other hand, "and I smashed it into the head of the monster. Because you know what you say. If you mess with one of us, you mess with us all. And that, my friends, is how I defeated the entire clan of the monsters that took away the village's home. Anyone have a better story than this?" And you hear claps and shouts and yells and laughter. But by now, a lot of the adventurers have shared their stories. As the human looks around with his sword pointing towards the crowd. "Who's next, eh? I think drinks for me are free tonight. Who's the next one?" As he moves with his sword, pointing around and stopping on a very specific person. "You, lass. You look interesting. Have a better story to tell than mine? Come on up. I dare you."
Well, I can't decline a dare, but also we're in the middle of a game, and Cal, halfling with a mop of brown hair on her head, sun-kissed skin, fully still in a well taken care of leather armor, and with just a couple of daggers everywhere on her body. Gets up, leaves her hand the card game on the table, and goes up kind of reluctantly, but it is a dare. She has to. But goes on stage and says, Heroic, sorry, I don't think I really got one. Well, maybe, there was one time I helped find this old man's gold purse.
Your mind drifts back as you remember that night. You were sitting in a tavern playing cards with a drink as an old man rushed into the tavern, clearly distraught and ruffled up, and goes straight to the innkeeper, his son. And you hear the conversation that strikes as the old man says, "My boy, I've been mugged. These bunch of ruffians, they took the month's earning that should have gone to the bank to pay back the loans. They're gone." And you see that as the old man describes what the people look like, his son's face darkens as he understands those are a group that he had thrown out a couple of days earlier for cheating in the game and causing a ruckus. What do you do?
Carl probably had locked in with just even seeing that old man being like unwell when he came in, and would have fully focused on that conversation, probably playing a couple of wrong cards, losing her game, and would have just listened in and would have probably remembered, because she has been in this town, would have been in that town for like a couple of days, that she probably has seen those people around. One moment. Cat, no!
We have to keep it in. That's canon now.
We need to do that. We need to.
Your mind jumps back to reality once you remember that event.
So, I remember, that old man had like a terrible eyesight, and also hadn't really remembered where he might have lost it. So, I am a good person. So, I walked all across town with him, like to his house. We checked there, even under his bed. We then went to his friend that he remembered he had visited, and then took a stroll around the gardens where he usually takes a walk, but couldn't find it anywhere.
You go back to your memory of that night. What do you do after you hear that conversation?
Well, Carl would wait until the old man has at least settled down, and then would have left the tavern, probably a little bit in debt after losing the game, and would sneak around, looking around to finding these people. Do I find them?
You use your abilities to understand where people go, and you use your knowledge of how to hide yourself. You find all 4 of them down a less occupied alley, where the leader starts saying, "Yeah, well, a little of a punch never hurt anyone. He's old, he can have some more money. His son has a tavern. It's fine. Look at all the gold we got."
So how many of them are there?
4.
4. Okay, Carl would keep to the shadows and wait until they start moving, and would try to then just take out her very nicely special dagger with a couple of nice runes carved in and fling that at the coin purse of one of the people. And snatches up after them. And the really cool thing about this dagger is that when she flings it, it appears directly back into her hand. And after I would have done that, she would, take a little bit of a roundabout to, not be caught. And then just gently bump into one of the others, of like the second person. And even apologizes, Peter's like, oh, I'm so sorry, didn't see you there, was on a rush. And while apologizing, grabbing the second purse.
Immediately start yelling at you when you bump into him. Look where you're going, kid! Then you start apologizing, and they get distracted with their anger as you take the purse off. You go back to where you're standing at the moment on stage.
So, we hadn't found it, and I asked him where else he had been, and then he finally remembered he also went to the markets, and that he had bought some really nice bread from this young baker. And so I thought maybe if he had taken out his wallet there, maybe had left it there. So we went to the baker, to this house, and we were so lucky. That baker had a really good heart. He had indeed found it, but hadn't known who it belonged to. Super nice guy, really. He gave it back to the old man, and I, for my good deed, even got like a really nice chocolate bun. So it was good, but I'm not really sure if this is heroic. Sorry, folks, I'm not. I just deal on small stuff.
In your head, you remember what happened after bumping into the second henchman. Where are you?
I would have continued following, especially like the guy that it was seemed to be the leader of the group, until he was at some point alone, like hoping they're not all roommates.
You follow the leader into a closed up alley as he still plays around with the coin, laughing to himself, clearly extremely satisfied with the loot they got from that evening.
Carl will again stick to the shadows because the shadows are her friend. Usually hide her pretty well, and would speak out to the guy of just saying, you should have trusted Lady Luck, but instead you choose to be a cheater and a goddamn coward who only takes on weak opponents. Bad choice.
The man immediately whips around, trying to find out who is speaking, as he yells, "Who's there? Show yourself!"
I would use that because he probably looks at somebody his height and not somebody half his height, to
100%.
Lunge forward, grab the hood of his his hood, just pull it over his head, and then I'm immediately diving further down and grabbing both shoelaces and the laces of his pants and just tie them together to hopefully make him stumble and lose fully his footing.
Absolutely. You tie them together. It starts losing where he's trying to look because his head is covered, grunting in the way as he's like trying to release himself. Wow, what's going on?
And then Carl would just, give him a kick, because if he can't see, that's gonna be easy. And just say, you made a really bad gamble. And your luck has just run out, before knocking the guy unconscious, because, this seems to be... if he only takes on old people, I'm assuming he's weak.
Pretty much.
And then he would take everything he has, the gold coin that he stole, but also every other single valuable this man has on him. And go back to the tavern, having stuffed that gold purse with every other valuable this man has had, and just dropping it off at the barkeep and saying, I hope this makes us even and you don't charge me for the drinks, right?
You see the bartender, the barkeep, and his father both looking astonished. Where did... Sure, yeah. Thank you.
Can I also have a room for the night?
What's your name?
Oh, you can call me Carl, but also I'll just pass through. I just need also somewhere to sleep.
It's yours.
Thank you, and just with the widest grin.
As you walk away from the baffled father and son, clearly on the verge of tears, is where you remember how that day really went and really ended.
And I'm assuming I'm still on the stage.
Yes.
I will look into the crowd and, having been forced on the stage, see a familiar face and point at her. Just go, well, this was my story, but you probably have a way better story, right? Way better. And basically taunt this lady to take my place.
Oh, Cal, did you have to? Following Cal's request, you see a tall woodland elf step forward. Zoraelia Valdrea, for short Zora, steps into the light. Her face is definitely starting to show her age, though more so in the typical elven way, where she looks mature but without any hint of wrinkles. And Zora's hair is long and cascades down her back in sleek silvery white strands. She didn't stand out earlier, because she is wearing a practical black outfit, with a few pouches and arcane accessories at her belt. There are some dark branches and bone accessories, and she is wearing a thorny-looking headpiece/circlet made of antler that stands out against her white hair. Like most of the time, you also see her familiar sitting on her shoulder right now. It's a barn owl, though instead of the usual light feathers that you would expect, it has dark brown, almost like black feathers, since it is a melanistic barn owl, which gives it a very eerie, mysterious look. That is basically what you see as I step onto the stage and start thinking of a story. So, an adventuring story. Alright. I guess I do have something fitting. It must have been a while ago, on my travels to Otari. It was starting to get late that day, but I was hoping to reach the next town soon. When suddenly, boo! Out of nowhere, something jumps me from the shadows. It was only thanks to a small nudge of fate's threats that I avoided getting seriously hurt.
We go back in time. It was a late evening. The twilight slowly envelops the forest road. What do you do?
Oh, I am definitely looking forward to reaching the town soon. I guess we are walking along the road, not expecting much right now. It's evening and I assume to be in reach of town quite soon. Stylus is perched on my shoulder and probably half asleep, blinking drowsily as I walk down the forest road.
Zora, give me a reflex save, please.
Alright. That's a 14.
A 14 will be a fail.
I do still have the Nudge Fate cantrip, which would give me a bonus if I fail. How much am I off?
You're off by 1.
That is exactly enough, so I guess the Nudge Fate will be able to turn this fail into a success.
Beautiful. It is only through a gentle tug of fate's strings, your Patreon alerting you, that you manage to dodge a sudden ambush. A lone thief this close to town is not what you expected, but you're ready to fight them. What do you do?
Alright, okay. So my immediate reaction is, of course, to create some distance. Stylus is fighting with me, so they allow me to stand back and my familiar is distracting them as I get some distance. And should they hit my familiar, I would face them to prevent damage. But given that it's a lone thief, I guess I can just fight them off. I can handle a lone thief. And I would try and use Phantom Pain as a finishing spell to only knock them unconscious, since it is a non-lethal spell. And then probably hand them over to the guard later.
You cast Phantom Pain. The thief should fall unconscious, to be taken into the town watch. But as their body falls over from the strain of battle, it starts to crumble to dust. It turns to a loose black substance that's quickly dispersed into the wind, with only a few traces that almost look like soot left on the ground and the tree lining on the road. As your mind goes back to where you are currently standing.
Although I didn't expect the ambush back then, I can handle a lone thief easily. And I lean forward and start talking in a more hushed voice. But there was something darker going on here. Just as I expected my assailant to fall to the ground, they instead turned to ashes. It was as if their body had just crumbled away into this weird substance, vanishing into the wind, with only a few traces of it clinging to the nearby trees. It was this dark, almost lightless substance, so I had to investigate more.
You remember, later, after you reach the town, you try to figure out, what is this thing? What happened here? You investigate the material. As you went back into town, following whatever you could, you find more of the same dark traces, which would seem irrelevant to most passerbys, but you investigate, and suddenly, while on the far side of town, you hear a young girl comes running towards you. She's crying, Miss, please help!
What happened, little one?
I was playing hide and seek with my sister, but my sister disappeared and she screamed. I don't know where she is.
It's all right. We'll look for her. And I guess I would follow the girl to where they were playing.
You remember what you experienced, but right now you know that you are standing in a different place telling the tale.
As I was investigating this dark happening, I suddenly heard the panicked cries of a young girl, just at the edge of town. She came running towards me and saying her sister had disappeared, just suddenly, with only a scream. And with all the dark traces I had found in town, I was of course worried. I hurried over and I sent Stylus to scout ahead.
You remember what you saw. A rugged man carrying an unconscious girl. What do you do?
Following my familiar, I guess deep into the forest a bit now, as soon as I spot the man, I would try to stop him, immobilize him. I have an array of spells that can, I guess, take him out, knock him out, hopefully, so he drops the girl without hurting her further. Yeah.
You reach the man, and as he is defeated, he also turns to dust. The dust sweeps away yet again, though seems to be almost drawn in a certain direction, against the wind even. Your mind goes back as you remember the stage you are on.
As I chased into the forest, defeating the husk who had snatched the sister, it also crumbled away. Though being so close to the origin of this dark power, I could now follow the traces as I headed deeper into the forest.
As you recall following the dust, you find a cavern where you find an Invidiac. Inside is an evil creature that is known to be able to summon minions. After a long fight, you defeated the evil lurking in the cavern, and you pick up the little girl unconscious, making sure she's okay, and bringing back the two sisters together. As you recall how that day ended, you go back to what you decide to share from it to the crowd.
What I had found in that cavern, not even that far from town, was terrifying. It was trying to feed on these innocent people, having its minions paralyze them and drag them away. Even in its weakened state, this was a haunting battle, but ultimately, I was able to defeat it. That day, I stopped something terrible from happening in this small roadside town. Imagine, this monster would have been able to feast for days, unnoticed. I believe the whole town's watch would have not been able to do anything anymore. In the end, it seemed to have been fate that I stumbled upon this small town and was able to save them and stop anything worse from happening. And as Sora finishes her story, she presented it in a creepy way of like an eerie undertone, but knowing her fellow adventurers, she wants to lift the mood and like puts on a big smile of like, and seeing the smile of the two young siblings reunited, that is what makes dangerous lifestyle of adventuring truly worth it in the end. Right? And I asked the crowd.
Right. It's the best thing. It's the best thing.
You know a story?
Yeah.
Come on up.
Start. I guess I can. And you see a human woman covered with fur completely, to the point that even in this icy winterland indoors, it looks like it should be hot for her. But somehow you don't see like sweat or anything else. Around her, there are small icicles just floating around, and in her hands there is a small figurine made of ice. This figurine is probably like a treasure chest, because adventuring and inspiration, and she was not able to make it a mimic, unfortunately. Nurse, she steps on the stage, has no idea what to do with her eyes, as she looks left, looks right, looks down, and well, so I think it was a week before I came here. I was going down the road, and then I saw by the ice, just come down. It's like telling a story to children. I'm not calling you children. Okay. So I was going down the road, as you do, as we all adventurings do, and I saw an ice castle. That was broken, and there was a child crying near it.
You remember that day where you saw the ice castle that is broken? A child practically wailing, extremely distraught, because his snow castle was completely smashed. As you walk towards it, you see the tears going on the face of the child as it sits helplessly, unable to understand where does he even start fixing or rebuilding this castle.
Hey, little kid. You need any help?
My castle is broken.
So you want to have it better? And you big castle to protect you against every other kid and bombard them with snowballs from inside of it?
But they're gonna smash it again, no?
Just they dare. Look, I played a lot. No one smashed my castle. Not even once.
You have an unsmashable castle?
Basically, yeah. And with that, she starts channeling elements around her. Snow picks up. There's a small wind and small electricity just...
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. At least some people tell me. I didn't think it's that cool. But, okay, look here. She points a finger to the ground, and BAM! From the snow, just a cube of ice goes up. And she's like, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and builds up a wall of this oversized castle. then just loses herself, forgets that there's even a kid. Just here, wall. Okay, it's a bit different, and just sculpts using her kinetic power, just creating stuff, retreating stuff, deleting stuff, right? Retreating, deleting, and like, oh yeah, let's make it like a window for which you can shoot stuff, and completely loses track of time and makes a small hut, a small hut-sized ice castle.
You see the face of the child lights up as they have a massive castle now.
Wow, miss. We have a big, strong castle. Thank you.
Yeah, don't even mention it. By the way, why was your castle so thoroughly smashed? I didn't think that snowballs could do that.
He looks at you, like stares at you for a moment, scratches his head as he said,
Well, this evil lady came to town and started shooting icicles all around. Half the village is in shambles.
You go back in your memory to the stage as you recall that day.
Yoti scratches her head. Oh, yes. So, you know how usually snowballs don't destroy castles, ice castles, which are built not in 3 seconds. So it turns out it was not really a snowball by another kid, but there was some evil lady. I'm not saying from Arison because it's done. Yeah. Although sometimes they are from Arison. We're not going that way. But so I decided to go and help the village, as we marchers do. We help people.
You go back to that memory as you got to the village area and immediately saw what the child was talking about. The village half destroyed, people wounded, injured, trying to bring it back together, working the best they can to rebuild. What does Yoti do?
Yoti completely flips the switch inside her head. She's like, okay. We've been doing this. I know some things. First thing first, go to the people and find if wounded. So she tries to find a person who looks like they're the most in charge here, and go to them to ask, hey, I can help. Are there any people in need of help here, like medical help?
Yeah, we have a lot of injured people. Do you have any ability to help people and treat the wounds that they have?
Yeah, just point me there.
It's right over there, and they point you to a place that the roof is half sunken in, but the front, the walls are standing completely, but only the roof has fallen in. We've gathered the injured there. Any help you can is welcome, please. We have a lot of injured.
She half runs, half slides on the ice. She grazed there, and starts. Okay, wounded. Yeah, you ocean bomb. Everyone gets an ocean bomb. Ocean bomb. The way she uses it, she doesn't understand it completely, but it's manipulation of the blood of people, creating extra blood there and manipulating in ways that help seal wounds and whatnot. Later on, she would get torrents of blood. I think this ability is called, but it's a weakened version of it. And also, if there's anything that needs ice is great. Oh, and this roof. Yeah, let's reinforce it. And she just builds a temporary icy wall that is supposed to a couple of columns which is supposed to hold the roof together.
Give me a crafting roll for you building the roof to make sure it goes back and holds together, please.
Let's give it a try. That's a 23.
23 is pretty good. You reinforce the roof to make sure that the hole in it closes up, and you see how people are looking at you using your powers, semi-surprised, there are some worried faces considering what they have just gone through, but they see that you're focusing your abilities to help other people and to help them as you rebuild the roof. You help treat wounded people, you help fix their roof. They start asking you Can you help us make some food? Can you help us prepare some meals for people? We don't know how long you're here. Can we ask you for help?
Where I'm from, you don't even ask. and she takes up from her bag a huge, basically a canister, grates water inside of it. It's like, and now you boil. And then the water starts boiling. Like, okay, so I have rations. You don't need to use your supplies or anything. If you have like spices or something, you could do. I'm not from here. I do not know what flavors you like. Where I'm from, kind of restrained in that regard. But if you have anything, then it's gonna be a stew. Everyone's gonna have stew today. And she just starts cooking.
Give me a survival roll. Let's see how good the soup is.
22. I got the same 14 on the d20. It likes me.
Pretty good soup. You prepare meals for the entire town, slowly giving out little portions to anyone who needs and can eat. As you hear from afar, I did all that for nothing? As you hear silence, as if a chill goes into this town. You look from outside of the building to see a woman walking in, looking to scan the surroundings, looking at you and saying, "It's all because of you, isn't it?" We go back to you on the stage describing that moment.
Yeah, so basically there was this obnoxious lady that came out of nowhere. I don't know, she was mean. She was starving mean, you know. And she became hostile, confrontational. She wanted to throw something at me, and so I decided, well, I didn't want to hunt today or anything, but I guess someone deserves smacking.
And you remember how this showdown went. As she charges with her ice and electrical abilities towards you, starting to fling ice towards your way. What do you do?
Well, unfortunately for her, I am somewhat knowledgeable about both ice and electricity. So, I can read it. I see it. This is my element. So, Yeti probably first runs in different directions so that people who are, so that the harm would not go to any people there, just as like an AoE damage there. And then she looks, you know what? Unfortunately for you, I'm decent at these things. Go starve! And just flings an air boomerang at her.
You fling your air boomerang at her. Some blows exchange. She uses ice, but as you said, ice is your domain. You manage to back her off as she realizes this village is untouchable. And the showdown against you ends with a bitter end for her. How do you end your story on stage?
And so she knew not to hurt people just for nothing. We need to help each other. We are all a band of humanoids who like each other, and we should work together. At least that's what my mother used to end story like. And then in her head, she thinks like, oh wait, before that, people nominated other people to tell the stories, and am I supposed to do that? Looks around. Mister, do you want to tell a story?
You see as like a tiny sprite starts up and makes a very like not so happy face of like being nominated. He was kind of napping there, enjoying the background noise, but now he actually needs to get up and also tell a story. And as he stands up, you see the sprite that has been pointed to stand up. He is rather skinny and has short silver gray hair. He appears to be in his early to mid 20s. You see an half plate next to his seat, which he's currently not wearing. Instead, his outfit consists of layer garments with leaf-like patterns, and at the center of it is like a green robe. And there are some elements of like very dark to black at the sleeves, pants, and his boots. And you can also see he has small white feather wings that extend from his back, and a narrow dark sword stripped to his hip. And if you look close enough and get a bit lucky, you can catch small spectral butterflies appear for just a few seconds. Usually, though currently outside, he is accompanied by a large elk named Fox, who has brown fur, but his antlers are colored in a deep reddish pink. It takes him a while to get onto the stage. He has not the longest legs and also is not too eager to get up there. And when he stands on the stage, he looks around and says, "Heroic stories? I'm not really the heroic type. I mean, I've been trained to take a hit or two in my village, but I was mostly the one who ran errand for the real fighters."
You recall your training. A young wind lies on the ground, covered in bruises, small wounds, and dirt. You hear a little further from you. "As always, good job, Storm, but you can't afford to hold back like that in a real fight." As an older figure says to the sprite who just knocked Wind onto the ground. "Well, let's rest for tonight. Wind, clean the backyard. Then go bring this letter to the other unit." As he drops the letter into the dirt, then both sprites, in your view, take off in a flight.
Hey Wind, you did a great job. Thanks for continuously letting us use you as a punching bag. Next time maybe don't be so pathetic and fight back a bit more. No problem, Father. I'm always happy to help train my incredible perfect brother. Same time tomorrow? Yes? Great. Wind doesn't seem happy about his situation. And he kind of picks himself up, wipes some of the dirt from his clothes. And after that, he inspects the same wounds, and when he notices that they're a bit deeper than usual, he summons some sort of mist that clings to his injuries. And after it cleans the wounds and closes it, he begins to clean the backyard, putting the gear back, cleaning the gear, straightening the dirt before he starts walking towards the actual training ground with the letter in his hand.
As you arrive to the training ground, you see a few dozen soldiers sparring with one another. Their fireflies outline a cube of about 20 feet above the ground where the soldiers are not allowed to leave.
I scan the area until I find the leader, and once I see him, I just trot over and awkwardly wait below him and wait until he notices me.
It takes about 5 to 10 minutes before he even acknowledges you and flies down towards you.
When he comes to, I say, my father told me that I should give you this letter, so here it is.
He grabs it from you without saying a word, opens it, reads it, makes a deep sigh, throws it away, and just flies off. No response.
No problem, always here to help. As he flies away, can I pick up the letter and read it?
You read the letter, and you see that it says that the attack on the village is tonight, and that he should prepare the troops.
As I read it, I just think to myself, oh, another raid on like some village next to us. Hope not all of them get killed.
As you come back from that memory, thinking of what you have said, now standing on stage.
So, yeah, I never really fought with the others in my village. Well, except one time where my village got attacked, but I wasn't particularly useful, let's say it like that, in helping to defeat the attackers.
Even as you say that, a chill goes down your spine as you recall that night. Screams tear through the night as you waken to an orange glow of your village. Your eyes dart over the village in flames, with monstrous creatures that are wreaking havoc and trampling over panicked villagers. You see the warriors of the village in fierce battle with other enemies. What do you do?
Wind darts up and like his immediate instinct is to, oh, I need to help them. But then he kind of stops and asks like, why should I go? No one ever treated me with any respect. I've always been like the small and insignificant sprite who can't fly. And after that small hesitation, he really feels disgusted at that thought. And I check my weapons and just make my way down to the village. Probably even smiling a bit when he realizes that this could be the moment when he finally proves himself. Probably not enough to rekindle that forgotten dream of becoming a hero, but a small spark is there.
As you enter the village, it's chaos everywhere. It takes a while, but you manage to reach the center of the battlefield. And as you arrive, you see two massive creatures. One surrounded by 7 sprite warriors, and the other is locked in a tense one-on-one combat with your brother. You also notice that the creature your brother is fighting is dangerously close to the hospital.
The moment I see this, I make my way towards the one battling my brother. As I analyze the monster, do I see any openings or weak spots?
When you focus on the creature, you spot a wound on its thigh. It's appearing to be severely injured, but you also notice that your brother isn't doing very well at the moment.
When I see that my brother is not doing well and that there's like a chance or an opening that I can help, you see small spectral butterflies appear around Wind as he darts forward and swiftly leaps up the creature's leg and then climbs the rest. And when I reach the wound, I just take my sword and in a swing, I stab it with my sword and punch it with my fist, and then jump off of the creature.
As you stab it, the creature roars and staggers back. You quickly jump down, just in time to see it fall.
When I noticed that it actually was enough and that I managed to do something, I don't even watch it fall, and the moment I realize that, I just look at my brother excited and also if he is okay.
Your brother is fine, but you see a horrified look on his face as your focus goes back to the tale that you're telling.
So, yeah, I survived. My village kind of didn't. But yeah, I tried to help a bit fighting them off, but ultimately wasn't equipped enough, let's put it like that. And So I left, and after some time I found Fox, my elk. And since then we're just kind of wandering around looking for trouble.
You say, with your face shielding up what's really going through your mind. As you recall that night. But you move on in your head to a different time. As a massive elk strode through the ruins of a village. The fires and laughter are long gone. Debris is scattered everywhere, and most corpses lie covered in moss, already half decomposed.
Normally when I travel, I ride on Fox's back, but the moment we enter my old village, I jump down and walk beside my companion, while I silently recall the night and say to Fox, "It never gets easier returning here, but it will be a while before we can return, so we should stop by."
Fox just snorts in response. Before long, you and Fox arrive at your destination. You stand amidst the ruins, taking in what remains of the town.
Wynn's eyes are just glued to a massive creature lying on top of what once was the hospital, before placing a flower on an obviously handcrafted tombstone. He stays there in silence for a few minutes, then he jumps back on Fox and they leave the village.
As you drift away from that memory, you go back to where you are now, standing on a stage telling some strangers about something. Like I said, not much of a heroic type. Anyone else got some better stories? You look around on the tavern. A lot of people already shared their own stories. Definitely seems like some people aren't keen on sharing anything. Maybe they don't have anything. Maybe they don't want to. But you don't really have time to scan and find the next, victim to go on stage. Because you all hear a large thump as the front doors open abruptly. And there is a person running inside, clearly distraught, clearly terrified, as you see an elderly elven man, rushes in, panting. Please, we need help. Is anyone here? We're looking for adventurers. Is anyone here available to help us? As he immediately rushes towards the bar to meet with the barkeep. Please, I'm looking for anyone that could just give us some help. As the goblin tries to calm him down. Please, speak slowly. You're in luck. We have a lot of adventurers here tonight, but you need to tell us what's going on. Calm down. Can you get a drink? And he's like motioning to one of the busboys. Can you get a drink, please? Just some water? And he brings it to the man. Slow down. Tell us what you need. As the man starts. I come from Zakrostka. It's not that far from here. It's right on the edge, on the Horwood Forest. Our town has been... there's a monster. There's a monster trying to destroy our town. We need some adventurer, someone that can help us fight it. It keeps threatening our home. We don't have people to do anything about it. Is anyone here? Please, if anyone can help, just... And he starts looking towards adventurers. And I'm gonna ask for a perception roll from everyone.
Blind?
Blind, yes. The elven man kind of looks towards the crowd an inn filled with adventurers. And you all notice that whenever he locks eyes with someone, adventurers immediately look somewhere else, kind of like shift uncomfortably. Even the man that was on stage with the giant sword that was boasting about how he saved an entire village immediately like looks at the corner of something and like starts to shrug. Is like, well, it's not really fitting at the moment. I can't really do anything about it. As you see the face of the elven man drops as one by one he's looking at adventurers that are kind of backing away, basically not willing for any reason whatsoever to help in whatever they need.
I guess I would definitely nudge my travel companion of like, Cal, looks like we found us something.
And Cal just looks back and there's like a little shrug and like, I mean, we're already here. And just raises slowly her hand from like below and just, hello?
Are you willing to help? It's just, we need to walk to Zakotska. It's not that far away. It's a town right over. Please, anything. Our village is in danger.
I mean, these legs still work, so yeah, we can walk.
Oh, bless you, bless you. Oh my god. Are you traveling alone?
I mean, with her points to Zara.
And I guess now with me as well, I can make it so that we would arrive there faster with my blazing winds, so it could help.
Ah, you the also is like a kid saver. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, let's say more kids.
I can also tag along if you still need some help. But you would need to be okay with traveling without Elk. He's kind of moody this time of year, though.
Hey, we have an owl, we have an
sounds
elk.
great.
I wanted to travel with an elk.
The elven man looks at you four. Oh, four. Bless you all. Thank you so much. Please, I made my way as fast as I could. Are you willing to leave tonight, or do you need to stay here? Obviously, the sooner the better.
Cal will just grab the drink that she had, down it in like just one motion, and slams it on the table. It's like,
Is he hurt
good to
or is he
go.
just exhausted?
He's exhausted. He doesn't seem hurt. He seems like he just made the best of his efforts to come here as fast as he could. It looked to you as if he ran the entire way, but you don't know exactly how he got here just yet, because he's basically telling you, we're gonna have to start going.
Because I was thinking of casting Soothe, because that also like soothes the mind, I guess, to help him calm down and heal him if he's hurt indeed. If you say that would make sense, even if he, I guess, is not missing hit points.
I think it will be fitting, because this man is running here extremely distraught, extremely worried.
It's just to soothe his tired legs or something,
Soothe
right?
does give some plus against mental stuff.
If they're in pain, that
absolutely.
hopefully also helps, like, instead.
That sounds very fitting.
Oh. But yeah, I guess I can cast it from range, but I will walk up to him to kind of show him that I'm doing something to not startle him or something. As I walk up, cast a spell on him, soothe both his body and mind to hopefully help him be at ease. And as I walk up, I say, now, calm down. We have a lot of distance still to cover. If we are to leave right now, you'll have to tell us what exactly happens, and any information you have would be helpful.
Oh, jeez, miss, I'm so grateful. You, all the four of you are angels, truly. Please, follow me. I will show you the way. And he will start motioning you to go, like, follow him outside of the tavern.
When Cal will follow outside, but before leaving the tavern, just shoot some dirty looks at some of the adventurers that told some heroic tales that would just be like cowards and leave the tavern.
Before you leave the tavern, you see Yonk, the barkeep, looking at you and kind of like motions you with a finger to like approach, both to you and towards Zora.
I guess since Carl already went towards the door, I would still walk up to him and talk.
I mean, Carl would just be giving a hand motion of like, that is very clear of a tell Zora she'll tell me. And go outside.
Yonk looks towards you, nods with his head towards the door.
The other two? Yeah.
Take a look at them, will ya? Who knows, they might be... yeah. See how they're doing. They might be an interesting addition to the guild.
Certainly will. Wish us luck.
As always, safe travels.
And I just nod and leave with the others.
And he kind of like nods you back as you walk after the others to leave the door. And I think this is a good point to stop our first session, right before our group of heroes leave for their adventure together.
Well, we gotta get to know each other. It's gonna be interesting.
Have to talk on the road.
Yay! Adventure party bonding!
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah.
Well, now that we've heard stories, let's see how our adventurers do in an actual adventure.
Yeah,
That's
you all
actually a good
know
one.
the story version of each other, but you don't know the real version. So I think it will be a very good time to find that
Certainly.
out.
Yeah. And to our listeners, welcome to Shrewd Tradition.
You're welcome.
Hope you're gonna enjoy it. And my
I'll
brain
see
has
you.
just stopped because my cat has again put her claws into my leg.
Nice.
They are in a play mode.
Well, until next time.
Yeah, we hope you're going to enjoy it. And until next time, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing
Thank you
with
for
me.
leading.
That sounded weird.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And
you.
goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye. Of Dice and Dinner uses trademarks and or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's fan content policy. That's paizo.com/licenses/fan content. Of Dice and Dinner is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. Content in the short adventures played by Of Dice and Dinner are not canon, nor were they endorsed or approved by Paizo. If you would like to reach out to us in social media, you can find us in Blue Sky with Of Dice and Dinner Blue Sky, or in our email address, ofdiceanddinnerpodcast@gmail.com.